Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Well, I'm happy that Sonny knows the truth. All of the truth. All the players involved. Mason, Austin. He spotted something was off with that nanny and just how anxious she was and just how scared Ava was, right? So throughout this episode, she's spent there giving him bits and pieces of the information that's going on and what's concerning of her. Now, the one thing I would sit there and say, well, a couple of things, but the one thing I would sit there and say is that I'm surprised that Sonny was not more angrier. Yeah, he was angry that he's just now hearing about this now, right? But Avery was involved in this whole in this whole thing so far, just to get Ava to comply more. And yeah, Ava was like, well, Avery wasn't in any danger or whatever, and Austin was fine, and she wasn't even scared and stuff like that. But just the simple fact that she is in this whole thing, I felt like he should have been a little more angrier. I mean, I know at the end of the day, being angry doesn't necessarily do anything, but still, that thing is that I don't know what Sonny can do at this point. When Ava thought that she accidentally killed Nicholas, that's when she should have brung in Sonny. But because she waited and she was all like, "Oh, I got this, and the third," and listening to Austin, now she's in this situation where her mom is in danger. You know, I didn't really care much about the Fenn and Liz date scene. All they really did was sat there and talked about the kids. That was about it, really. And then they kissed. That was it. I wish they would have actually talked about stuff that was like, even if they're working on trying to get back together, maybe they could sit there and talk a little bit more about the stuff that really broke them up. Just kind of have more of a deeper conversation and just kind of really get into some stuff. But they didn't do that. Liz just sit there and talk about how she was thinking about painting again, if anyone remembers that. But other than that, didn't really go anywhere. I didn't really care about the Chase and Finn. I mean, the Chase and Brooklyn scene. Chase, he skinny dips. That's it. That's literally it. That's the only. And he does that to prove that he can be a rule breaker. That's it. He's like, yeah, I'll break the rules for you. Yep, nothing else came from that. Like literally nothing else came from that. Now, the only other interesting scene I would sit there and say was the Curtis and Portia scene. Because here's the thing. When you look on the internet to sit there and try to find out what's going on, like if there's something wrong with you or whatever, and you look on the internet, it's just a bad idea. It's just a bad idea. You're going to wind up making yourself more crazy trying to self-diagnose oneself or whatever, as opposed to talking to a doctor. A doctor that's actually sitting there looking at your case and stuff. And I get it. He's in the bed. He wants to sit there and try to do something. He wants to feel like he has some sort of control. Portia, even because this is a crappy situation, right? And I felt like in the same, because he was like he didn't want to be handled. He didn't want to be managed. And I felt the same way with TJ managing or trying to handle Molly's emotions. And in a lot of ways, that's what she was doing. Now, this dude said that he wanted to get a divorce. And the reason why I feel like he wanted to get a divorce is because he didn't want to be a burden on her. When she talked about how she was cutting back her hours for work to sit there and take care of him, either moving to a different place or calling a contractor to kind of like fix up the house a little more better. That's when he was like, no, we got to get a divorce. And at first I was like, it almost seemed like it came out the blue. I was like, I'm sorry, what? When I sat there and I thought about it, I was like, okay. All right. I mean, I can, it's a rash decision, but I can understand where he's coming from. all Dex did was just answer a bunch of questions about, finding the body, what was he doing in the alley. I felt like at some point, I mean, granted, these were like basic, easy questions that he didn't need to sit there and bother Diane for. And, Dante already knew the drill. Dante knew if he pushed too far, eventually he would have pulled a Jason Miller like lawyer. But, yep, Gordon's dead. The dude is dead, and it's not like no one saw it coming. Not like no one saw it coming. Um, what's that? Let me just double check. Sad thing is that I feel like that's pretty much about it. The problem with this episode is that for the scenes that did work, there was a bunch of scenes that didn't work. At least for me personally. Sonny's scene was really great with Ava, and Curtis and Portia's scene was really great. I didn't really care about Dex answering Dante's questions. Like, it wasn't going to go anywhere, and so it just seemed kind of pointless. And again, I really didn't care about Brooklyn and Chase and who's going to sit there and skinny dip. Like, I just, I really didn't care. I will sit there and say that I don't think that, here's the thing. People have said that Chase is a bad singer, and I don't see that. I don't say that. I actually think he's a pretty decent singer. Is he just like the bomb or whatever? No, but he's actually pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie. But again, I almost would have rather than him just sing than whatever the hell they were they're doing. And I know a lot of people don't like Finn and Liz. I just wish that they would have talked about anything else that was more interesting than what they were talking about, because it just, again, they didn't go anywhere. But you can tell that they're going to sit there and give them another go, which is like, I know the internet is kind of like, whatever. As long as they give them good material, give them stuff to talk about that's going to be interesting, and not one of these episodes, then I'm good. Anyway, let me just double check something. Yeah, I feel like that's about it. I really do. Yeah, this episode could have been better than what it was. Maybe if they would have switched up characters or just made them have better material and better stuff to talk about, would have been better. But anyway, if I missed anything, you know what to do. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about it all. We'll talk about Days, B&B, Y&R, and of course GH. And yeah, we're going to sit there and talk more about this smack, because here's my whole thing. The fact that people are getting so outraged about Betty and this smack, and Ava has been sitting there smacking people for years. Now, oh my God, she got smacked. She also messed with Morgan's pills, but I guess people just, conveniently forgot about that. Or shooting Connie, but again, people just forgot about that. But no, 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 no. She gets smacked. Oh, there's a problem. Yeah, let's think about that one for a minute. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.